You're a tool! You're a tool for the universe. An antenna for the cosmos to beam down inspiration. What kind of tool do you want to be? You want to be one of those like cheap dollar store screwdrivers that breaks when you just leave it outside? It breaks from being just left out in the sun. Or do you want to be a power drill? Putting in work. Cranking out art, getting that signal from the eternal muse that is just giving you that inspiration. I don't know how it happens. Whenever I have a truly great idea, I feel like it's not even my idea. I feel like the universe sent it down and just kind of ended up in my head. And I want to be open to that. I want to be more open to that. I want to be in the right states of mind where I get inspired. I'm really able to feel that connection and just be the best version of myself possible. Like, I've really come to realize the tools I use when working on a project really define the outcome, you know? And there's a lot of artists that can do a lot with a little, and they're just very imaginative and just get very creative. Like, artists are notorious for that. But at the end of the day, you are kind of limited by the tools that you have available to you. And then on a meta level, you yourself are limited by how you use the tool. Like, you are a tool for the tools, you know? The universe is using you, and if you're the weak link in the chain, like you got the universe and the inspiration, you got the actual tools, and you're that connecting factor. And if you're not up to par with, you know, the universe and the tools you're using, you're not going to use the tools to their full potential. And I am just trying to maximize, get the most out of this instrument, you know? And like, part of that is taking care of yourself. Like, you know, investing in yourself. Like, I've never regretted investing in myself, and it's not always financially. Like, yeah, sure, invest in yourself financially, but it could also be what you're not spending your money on. All the bad decisions you make in the day that you'd have been better off not doing, you know? That can improve your quality of life more than just actually purchasing something. Invest in yourself. Become the best version of whatever kind of tool you are. Like, there's so many different types of tools out in the world. Whatever kind of unique instrument you are, really lean into that. Be like, figure out who you are and what you enjoy doing, and then really like lean into that, you know? Become the best version of yourself you can. And like, part of that is eating healthy. I know. I'm one of the people that either eats nothing or makes like bad food decisions, you know? I make good food decisions, but I am definitely drawn to bad food decisions as well. And like, that can just really take my day on a, you know, detour. Like, the other day I had this delicious, decadent, sweet, bougie crepe in the morning, right? And that was like it for my day. It was like 8:30, and that was just like a bad decision, a bad investment in myself. I had to take a nap. Wonderful. But like, also like, that was not sustainable. Like, those kind of days you could not do in a row, you know? It was just like, I was not investing in a better version of myself tomorrow. And that's what I gotta do, because I wanna make better art tomorrow. So if I'm constantly breaking myself down, making myself into a worse version of myself in the habits I'm choosing, in the food I'm eating, my decision not to sleep, what I'm putting in my body, all these things equate to how much art I can make, the type of art, the quality, everything. Like, from an artistic production perspective, like, you should streamline yourself, become like you should eat and work out like an athlete. So when you get in the studio, when you go to the photo shoot or the fashion design, whatever you're into, you're like the strong version of yourself, you know? You're not the one that's running on, you know, like these energy drinks and sugary foods and stuff like that. Like, that's a very unstable version of yourself, where if you're really like honed in, balanced, everything's aligned, you know, your diet, your sleep, your friends, family, you got everything kind of in like alignment, you can really go in the studio and not be distracted with, you know, some of the bad decisions you're making outside of your art studio. You get everything lined up where you can really focus in on what you're working on. You can make better art, and that's what I'm here for. I'm trying to improve the quality of my life to the point I can make giant projects, execute them properly. People can depend on me. I'm producing quality content, all that stuff, you know? And part of that is just improving myself. That's why I'm doing this right now. That's what I'm doing right now. I want to become a better speaker. I want to share with the world and inspire them and just tell you guys what I'm currently thinking about. I've been thinking about this all day. I've been telling myself this all day. And I was like, share it. Just share it. Put it out there, you know? And you should do that today. Put it out there. Whatever it is you've been kind of thinking about, just do it. I didn't want to do this. I was like, oh, I'll take a shower. I was like, I already took a shower this morning. I just need to do it, you know? Like, enough procrastination. Do it. You can do it. You are strong. You're determined. I'm inspired every day. I'll start talking to someone and I'll try to figure out what kind of artist they are. Because they'll be like, oh, I'm an artist. What kind of art are you into? And they'll be like, oh, I'm not an artist. You know, I don't do that. And you start like digging it out and you're like, oh, okay, well, what do you enjoy doing? They'll be like, well, I love to sing. And I'll be like, you don't consider yourself an artist? Like, musicians are like some of the coolest artists in the world. It's like such a powerful medium, music, vibration, like all these things. And they're like, oh, I'm not an artist, you know, like, okay. And then that's one of my favorite things to do is just find someone who doesn't consider themselves an artist and convince them that not only are they an artist, but like that's what they were destined to do, you know? So that's my goal. That's what I'm trying to do. I love doing that. I used to do that when I was like a server and a bartender. I'd just be talking to people and I'd be like, oh, what do you like to do? And they're like, oh, you know, I like to cook. And I'd be like, culinary arts, you know? Someone would be like, oh, I'm really into Taekwondo. I'm like, me too. I grew up doing Taekwondo, and guess what? Martial arts. Like, everything relates back to art in some way, and I try to dig that out of people and figure out what kind of artists they are, you know? It gets difficult sometimes. Some people are really against art, do not consider themselves artists, and it's a little more struggling. But get to it. Make that. Become the best version of yourself. Not just for you, but for your friends and family. You can be the best version of yourself, you know? Treat yourself like a tool. What do you do with tools? Let's see. You clean them. Clean up your house, you know? Like your studio, whatever it is. Like, I get it, you know? I'm myself. I'm a grunge artist. Like, I'm edgy. Things get messy. And that's fine. Like, I get that. I kind of am that. But it's better to be in a clean environment just for your own mental, like, even if it's cluttered, right? Because I love stuff. I love collecting things. I'm always like, oh yeah, this new project needs, you know what, geodes. I'm gonna start collecting rocks. So I'll go on hikes and just start collecting rocks. Next thing you know, there's a ton of rocks at my house. I have a giant bag full of abalone shells I'm working with. It's awesome, but my house is just full of stuff, right? Doesn't mean you have to throw everything out, but you can organize it. Not just for you, but for the people around you, you know? Like, that's part of being a good artist, is just not getting in the way of yourself, you know? If you don't clean your house, clean yourself, clean just the stuff, you know, that's part of it. And sometimes we overlook that as artists because we're so focused on the art itself, but it takes away from it when the tool doesn't work properly, you know? When you can't find your stuff, when people are like acting weird around you because you haven't, you know, showered in days, or, you know, your car is so dirty that you can't fit your art project in there. Like, you gotta be the best version of yourself, and part of that is maintenance. So just like a tool, you gotta maintain yourself, you know? You don't wanna have a short-lived art career where you're just pumping yourself full of like toxic stuff and you burn out quickly. You know, there's something to that, but at the same time, you don't want that, you know? Longevity is the game here. You have a long art life ahead of you, and I want to see you make decades of work, you know? Part of that is maintaining yourself, your environment, keeping a clean space, you know, clean spirit, clean mind, just so you don't have to focus on it, you know? Who wants to focus on dirt and cluttered and stuff, you know? Even if it's not like physical dirt, just being cluttered, you're just like, it's distracting, and you want to get rid of distractions, you know? This is, like I said, these are all things I'm telling myself, you know? I live in a very small apartment and have a lot of art ideas going on. I got little sections. I got a music production section, got a painting section, got just different areas. Got ceramics placed in my little studio. It's very cluttered, but if I can keep it somewhat organized, it allows me to focus on my work and create more art. And that's what I want for you, so go for it right now. Go work on that thing. Start typing, start drawing, painting, whatever it is. Like, just get to it. Forget all the procrastination, all the loading, and just get straight to B. Skip the whole A to B and just get straight to B and go make art. I believe in you. You're a tool. You're a tool.